Hi everybody, welcome to my loft. I'm Rusty Blackwood and this is January the 19th. The time is really starting to speed by as expected. I mean, it's like this at all times of the year. Um, but for the new year, it already seems to be off to a go in leaps and bounds. But maybe that's okay because it might speed us through this year, which is shaping up to be not much better than last year so far. But, time is going to tell. I do think that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and I do think that we're starting to see more progress in the way um, forward and positive, um, as opposed to the way the last 2 years have been. At least I hope so. Um, I was just starting to do a video prior to this one, and of course, phone rings and interrupts, and so now to sit back here and try to recall what I was talking about, um, and pick up from there and go on. I was talking about uproar and upheaval in families and family units. I've got a very dear friend who I've kind of maybe taken under my wing, kind of adopted in some ways, even though I mean he's a grown man. But um, he, the situation that he endures is one that not many could understand or maybe comprehend in the right light. Um, in my eyes, I think any family that could use a member of their family in such a derogatory way, hurtful, spiteful, jealous. I don't know the right adjectives to even use to describe it. Um, in many ways, it's sad. Um, but myself, if I had the chance to tell these people exactly how I feel and what I think of their actions and what they've done and the result of what they've done, um, they wouldn't like it. I'll tell you that much, because I certainly would not hold back with the way that I feel. I think it's just utterly appalling. It's despicable, um, and I'm sure in their eyes, they probably think they've done no wrong. But no, you don't go through life like that. Um, maybe there's so many people thinks that the earth revolves around them, um, that they are the number one person in their parents' eyes, and and they can just do whatever they want, say whatever they want, and think that they are going to get a free ride because of it. And life doesn't work that way. And sooner or later, these people are going to find this out. And I just, in a way, it's hard for me to wrap my head around it because I wasn't raised that way. My brother and I, we certainly didn't grow up in wealth. Um, we had to work for everything we ever had, and But our parents taught us right from wrong. They taught us to be strong and stand on our own 2 feet. Um, Look at things with eyes wide open and look at things logically. And don't be too quick to judge what you're looking at, because so oftentimes it's not what you think it is. Could be something entirely different. You know, a lot of people, um, when they're in situations like I've been speaking about, they they cover it up, you know, through different ways. You know, joking all the time, being reckless sometimes, or just keeping it in for fear maybe that if they were to actually say how they feel, um, or show how they feel, it would only be that much worse. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have an explanation for that. Um, when I was young, I one time thought I would like to be a psychologist, um, and and actually a child psychologist, so that I could really get inside a kid's head and see what's going on there, see what's how things are shaping up and what they're feeling and why they think they're feeling that way and stuff like that. Of course, I didn't. I never did. But I think it would have been a very interesting field to have gone into. I don't know. Maybe with my imagination that I have, which allows me to be able to write the way I do, the stories that I write, um, and even the poetry that I write that can be sometimes very, very dark. Um, I don't know. I don't know how well I would have done as a psychologist, but as I said, I think it would have been interesting. It might have been a very, very interesting field to have gone into just just to see. But I don't know. So many things that happen in our childhood affect who we become as adults, and we carry it through into our adulthood and beyond. You know, and if it's not been the right teachings, if it's not been the right way, um, the things that we endured as children and the way we were treated and what we the way we saw our lives and ourselves, maybe maybe that accounts a lot for the way we are, the way we perceive ourselves, and the way we treat other people. I really don't know, but it definitely can damage us in so many ways. Definitely psychologically, and where we don't see ourselves the way other people might see us. Um, I look at my friend as I don't look at him as damaged at all in any way. Uh, I think he's a wonderful person. He's got some great values. Um, he definitely is nobody's fool, and um, I think he has problems understanding maybe where I'm coming from, or understanding how I see him and why I see him the way I do. And, you know, I sometimes think that he and people like that can feel like they're not, like, why are you wasting your time? This is the way I am, or whatever. Well, you know, if I didn't care, I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't spend my time, you know, reaching to him and saying, here, like, I'm not, I'm not gonna hurt you. Um, I'm not like that. I'm genuine and I care. And I care because I can see so much in you. And, and I think you're a wonderful person, and you have so much to give, and you've given so much to so many people, and you do it freely because that's who you are. Um, Maybe because you've been on the other side and you know how it feels to have all this negativity and all this flack and all this idiocy coming your way. Um, so I think you tend to shield yourself, of course, because maybe it's the only way that you can function. But I I I find it frustrating, um, because I mean this has been going on from the time this person has been a child, and now he's middle aged, and it continues. It still goes on, and there's no excuse for it. Absolutely no reason for it. Um, just vindictiveness, um, just idiocy. But it hurts, and the person that's receiving it all the time, naturally, how else are they going to feel? And so sometimes, the way they react in some people's eyes would be the wrong way. But unless you've ever been in that situation, you don't have a clue. You wouldn't begin to know how it feels or how you would react. I know there are people that say, well, this is what I would do, or I think this is what you should do, or you should feel this way, or like, why do you do that? Why do you say that? Um, but that is not the way to look at things. Um, if you can open your eyes enough to see what's right in front of you, um, then, rather than looking through blinders, looking like through tunnel vision, you see only what you want to see. You can't see the entire picture. And I think unless you can open yourself enough to at least try to see, then you're better off just walking away from the whole situation. But I'm not going anywhere, and I'm there, for however the duration, however long, and do whatever I can, and be a friend and be solid, and give my 2 cents if it's asked for. I'm certainly not one to tell anybody what to do. In fact, I'd be the last one to do that because I know how that feels. I know how it feels to be ignored and sitting, right there among people that are having a conversation. Like I'm talking about family, um, and just be completely ignored. Um, if you're trying to join in the conversation, you're trying to take part and give your opinions and your views, and it's just absolutely overlooked or, as I say, ignored. um, you may as well not even be there. And after a while, that that manifests, and it tends to make you feel, you start to look at your self-worth, um, and you can, if you let yourself, you can start to think like, well, yeah, I guess, what do I have to say that's worth anything or worth listening to? And so you tend to kind of pull into yourself, and um, you don't open up for fear of rejection again, or just, like you're invisible. And um, and so I mean, I can really, I mean, I did not grow up in the same situation as my friend, but um, thank God for that, but um, I just find it ironic that that there are people like that, and and they, if you probably were to talk to them, they probably would look at you and say, well, what am I doing wrong? I haven't done anything wrong. And I'm sorry, but you have. And you never once stop and think of the way you use your own flesh and blood, your own siblings, or your own sibling. And um, and there's just no excuse for it. It's meanness, spitefulness. And I just wish it would stop. If I had the ability to change things, I would. I would change that. Um, my friend wouldn't have been growing up like that. And looking back at my childhood, I mean, I wouldn't have been. I would have been making my presence known. I would have been, you know, speaking up and saying, look, I'm a member of this family. I have a right to say how I feel and to take part in what we're talking about. And like, you could listen to what I have to say. You don't have to agree with what I say, but at least you could listen to me. And I'm sure there's a lot of that goes on in the world, everywhere, in all countries, all nationalities, I'm sure. And I mean, there's kids that live in abuse, physical abuse, but mental abuse is fully as bad. And um, and I just wish that it didn't exist anywhere. Um, I mean, when I look back at over my childhood and my growing years, um, I had it pretty good. Um, I had good parents. I mean, when I talk about, sitting and being ignored during conversation or something, that that like was here and there. It wasn't a constant daily routine. Um, but my brother and I, we did have a good upbringing. We had a solid home. We had parents that cared, that they were um, going about things in the right way. Um, we were taught to walk the Christian path, and a good solid path and knew that both our parents were always there. They were always available if we needed to talk to them about anything. And, uh, to me, that's important. I always tried to put that into practice when I was raising my own two sons, and always making sure that I was available for them whenever they needed me, however they needed me. Um, I'm sure I probably could have been even more available than I was, but there's nothing, even to this day. Uh, there's nothing in the world I wouldn't do for either one of them. Um, and they know that they can always come and talk to me um, about anything, whatever, and I will listen, and I will, if they want my advice, I will, you know, give it the best I can. Whether they take it to heart or whatever, it's entirely up to them. But um, you find yourself through mistakes you make in your life, um, hopefully not repeating them as time goes on, because oftentimes um, things repeat itself, just like history repeats itself, and and you find yourself having another go at something that maybe happened years and years before, and trying to remember the way you handled it at that time, and now you're being called upon to you know deal with it again, and give your advice again the way you did the last time, and hopefully um, this time make sure that before you say anything that you are giving the right advice. I guess all you can do is just do the best you can, and listen. Keep your ears open to what you're being asked, and or what you're being told, and think about it before you open your mouth. Like, think about your answer. Think about what you want to say um, before you just blurt out the first thing that comes to your mind. I don't know. It's just life can be. You never know what the heck life's going to throw at you, and so you just sort of have to do the best you can, I guess, in all circumstances, and so I don't know anything else to speak about, like, other than, of course, there's our big snowstorm that we had here in southern Ontario. I mean, I live in St. Catharines, and so we had 60 centimeters of snow fall the day before yesterday, overnight, and throughout the day. And this was on the level. Now, in the city, of course, um, there's no place for it to go. And so it just falls, on everything, everywhere. And there's just nowhere to put it. The plows, like, I live on a regional road, so the region looks after my road, and they were right on it. The plows were coming through every so often throughout the entire storm, but the side streets, the street I face, Marjorie Ave is right in front of me, and it's a city. It's taken care of by the city, and I'm sorry, but the city of St. Catharines leaves a lot to be desired when it comes to care of the city, care of the city streets, care of of the residents that are paying high taxes to the city to have care given back when it's needed. And those poor people, when I could finally see out my dormer windows, because up here in the loft, I'm at the top of the house, and uh, and I have two dormers. One faces the north and one faces the south, and and they were just caked with snow that had blown against the screens. I couldn't even see out, even when I went downstairs in my house. Um, Trying to see out the windows was, like looking through a dense blizzard, because I mean, I guess, that's what you would consider it. And so my backyard was just piled high with snow, which was to be expected because it's fenced all the way around, and there was no way that the snow was going to be blown away or anything. In fact, the majority of the storm, there was no wind. The wind didn't come until yesterday. That was quite windy, and and so, but when yesterday morning, finally, I could see out my windows, and and now today it's much better. All the snow has gone off my skylights. Um, like I just felt like I was living in a little here world all of my own. But when I could finally see out on Marjorie Ave, it was just somebody throughout the night. Somebody had plowed the street, but last night all they had was one go through, and I don't know whether it was somebody's pickup truck that 4x4 or whatever that went down there and made an opening, and there was cars parked along the street that all you could see was, these mounds of snow, and in places you could see the roof of the car, and and here is our baked council members telling the residents of the city, well, there's this storm coming, and we don't want any cars parked on the street because of snow removal, and everybody can park free in two parking garages that were mentioned for all these residential areas around. I'm sure everybody's going to be able to get their car right in there, like snap, snap, right now, because the council has spoken. But yeah, come on. Where are you supposed to put your car? Not everybody has a driveway. I'm fortunate. I have a fairly long driveway, and my son and daughter-in-law had their cars ahead of mine. Mine was because I didn't have to be going out all the time. And so my car was at the very back of my driveway, right by the fence and the gate that goes into the backyard. Well, my car was just obliviated. I mean, it just, you couldn't even tell there was a car under it. It was just this humongous glob of snow, and my car is white to begin with, so it just, if there was any opening at all, um, you wouldn't see it because the color of the car was the color of the snow. And so my son managed to get a pathway moved through enough so that you could get around outside up the driveway to the street. He did manage to get the mouth of the driveway shoveled and snow blowed open, and he made some paths around through the backyard, cleared off my back stairs, um, so that if I had to get out, I could get down the stairs. Um, but I mean, the sidewalk, you're supposed to clear off your sidewalks in front of your house. It's supposed to be your responsibility to do so. And there was so much snow and nowhere to put it, um, because when the plows would go down my street, it would just pile that much more because that much more had fallen. And there was just absolutely nowhere to put any snow. So you have to walk on the street, because if you're going to go out there and go anywhere, you got to walk on the street. Um, Across on Marjorie, some of them did manage to get some tunnels, like some openness down the sidewalks for people to get through without walking on the street over there, because I mean, even on the street, they're walking through, 3.5 feet of snow. And so, anyway, what are you supposed to do? You just cope the best you can. Um, in the country, when it's open, the snow has a place to blow or to whatever. I mean, the mouth of your driveway might get plugged because of plows going down the roads and things like that. But it's not so condensed that it can't, it's all piled up in one place. And so today it's much milder, and in places it's been raining, although here we haven't had any rain yet. But the snow is melting. Um, and as I say, my skylights are clear, my windows are clear, and I've noticed that the street Marjorie Ave across from me is finally open, so people can get up and down the street. Um, and I think about it, like if you had an emergency, um, there's no way that the emergency vehicles could get where they needed to go, because there's no road crews out there doing whatever they can do. And then as things settle down, then they can do more and more and more. But not here. Um, I don't know about other areas in the province, but Niagara here is very, very dismal. Um, and this city here, St. Catharines, um, you know, they need to be pulling their pants up a little better, and they want the property taxes paid and everything else right on time. But when it comes to giving what they're being paid for back, they're certainly not moving very quickly. So, and sometimes I will say that's my opinion after I've said something like that. But in this case, no, it's not just my opinion, it's all of us. And maybe it's time that you started listening to us. Anyway, I'm past the 30-minute mark, and I guess this is going to be it for today. Um, we're in the middle of January. I don't know if I'm going to be doing another video before the end of this month or before even Valentine's Day, because I mean that's just a month away, just a couple of days over a month away, and I will be doing a Valentine's video, but I'll see if I can't come up and with another one to talk about something before then. I mean, there's always something to talk about. It's just trying to figure out how interesting it might be. Um, but I thought today, by what I was speaking about, um, there's a lot of that goes on in the world, and a lot of people have to cope with difficult situations, and just wondering, how do I handle this? What am I going to do? Um, and some people, they don't care, and and it really, really bothers me when such good people have to endure and put up with people that have no heart, they have no soul, all they think of is themselves. They don't think of their actions, they don't think of what their words, the way their words are being taken, how much they hurt somebody physically or mentally, and could care less about the outcome, could care less as long as it's not interfering with them. I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it. But when it comes to someone that I care greatly for, um, it bothers me. it bothers me greatly, um, because I can't change what has happened, and I can't take it all away, make it better, but I can be there and open, and I'm as open as I can be. And if you're watching, sweetie, you know who I'm talking about. And so, my hands are always there for you. All you got to do is grab hold. And I promise you, I got your back. And if I ever have anything to say or to do about it, nobody, nobody had better try to upset you or hurt you in any way. And so with that, I'm going to stop for now. We're just 5 minutes over the 30-minute mark. And so I hope your day is going good. It's not been a bad day here. Um, and the pretty white snow is now starting to go dirty, as it goes in the city and the country. On the fields and things, it will be still nice and clean and white, and that's nice to see. Um, I miss the country. I grew up in the country, and I've never lost my love for it. I, I would love to go back. Whether I ever will or not, it remains to be seen. But if I had the chance, I would do it in a heartbeat. And never did care for the city to live in it. And but I do what I have to and cope with what I must cope with, at least for now. And so I will say thank you for tuning into this. Please like it. Please comment it if you would. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is free, doesn't cost you anything, and you get notification whenever I put up a new video. My number of videos are growing all the time. There's all kinds of them to watch, all different topics that I talk about, and as well as my work and my writing. And so for now, I'm going to say thank you and God's blessings to each of you. You take care of yourselves, stay well, and stay strong, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.